My husband's female colleague shared details about her sex life with him. How should I react? I work with too many women and they overshare with me all the time. They mistake my indifference for being able to confide in me. I tell my wife as a way of venting about all of these obnoxious oversharers. I can't imagine her being jealous. You don't describe the woman as a friend of your husband. How did he share the information with you? Hell yeah, if they are just broing out at work and telling good nut stories and giving each other high fives. Also, if your husband fixed a couple with a conversation, then he sounds like a stud. I agree with him, just friends talking shit, no worries, he didn't even hide anything from you, and if he did it might be based on your reaction to sexuality as opposed to excitement. Major green flag that your husband told you, which likely reflects the fact that he is not interested in his female coworker. I'd just tell him this makes you uncomfortable. You trust him 100, but it would make you feel better if he didn't have those conversations with her anymore. I'm confused, is she a fan of the Red Sox or the White Sox? Would you rather him keep it a secret? That seems much worse to me. I mean, if it makes you uncomfortable you should uphold that boundary, but I don't think it's really anything crazy at all. I can't figure out why you would be angry with your husband for something someone else did. Are you frustrated that he didn't shut her down? The fact that he told you about means he's not keeping secrets from you. Let him have his work, people. Relationship boundaries can range from uptight prude conservative Christians who rarely even speak to members of the opposite sex all the way to godless liberal hippie swingers who have foursomes with strangers at a Fish concert. It's up to you to tell your spouse what your boundaries are. Personally, I think discussing sex with someone who's not your spouse is extremely borderline. My wife and I would both be upset if the other person did that, but we already know each other's boundaries and expectations. Why are you censoring sex? It isn't a bad word. Also, I don't see anything wrong with this at all. Why should you react at all? I don't see what the issue is. He had a conversation with a friend about sex. What's the problem? Would it be weird if you replaced the female coworker with a male? If not, why? He helped talk a friend through a relationship issue and it worked. If it's really that big a deal. Unless there's some subtext here we can't see and he told you in a way meant to brag and glorify himself. Look, girls tell me juicy details all the time, then I think it's just a simple case of friends being friends. I wouldn't be too upset about it. Only things I'd be upset about is 1. If he's spilling the tea about guy's sex life to said coworker, and 2. That's a risky thing to be talking about with a colleague at work from an HR perspective. There's liability in participating in these kinds of convos. Piss WTF. I hate these kind of women. Like, why are you sharing intimate detail with another man? Is he your man? No. Like, weird ass hoe. Is he okay with you being buddy-buddy with a man like that? Is he okay you sharing intimate details or getting advice from another man like that regarding y'all's sex life? Like, girl couldn't talk to her man first before your man? As a Mexican, we don't condone this type of behavior at all from married folks. And you, as a woman, no other woman, don't listen to all these guys saying at least he told you, like, mang, this how things start. My GF would have no qualms about having such a conversation with a male friend, and it wouldn't trouble me either, because I know where she stands when it comes to loyalty. We don't take friendly conversations with others about sex personally, nor see avoiding them as necessary for trust. You are obviously not obligated to feel the same way. Everyone's comfort zone is different, but it's not obvious to me that your husband did something wrong, particularly because he's being transparent about the whole thing. It's normal to feel uncomfortable if your husband's colleague shares intimate details about her sex life. Communicate your feelings, set boundaries with your husband, and trust him if he assures you it's nothing more than a platonic friendship. Discuss your expectations for communication and boundaries in your relationship. Doesn't sound like they said anything that would be beyond normal conversations, but then you were very vague. Sex, 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 now repeat it with me. Sex, 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 sex. I hope you find as good of an advice here as she got from your husband. Would you get upset if your husband was talking with a male friend about their sex life? If not, why are you getting upset about him having the same conversation with a female friend, especially if he's being very open and honest about it? It really just sounds like you don't trust your husband, and if that's the case, that's what y'all need to work on, your trust issues.